All right, we are under a week away from the NFL draft. All the rumors, all the speculation coming to a close. So that means it's time. My one and only mock draft for the season. I've done some research, how I think it's all going to play out on Thursday. We do have trades included in this mock draft because honestly, any mock draft that doesn't include a trade really isn't that accurate because then nobody ever stays put with where they are. But before we hop into it, if you could drop a quick like on this video, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We got new sports content every single day, but let's hop into it. We got the draft pulled up. First overall pick, your Chicago Bears. I think we all know where this one's going. Not really a surprise. Caleb Williams out of USC, the best quarterback prospect we've seen since Andrew Luck, probably. Elite all-around talent. Now, there are some question marks people have about above the shoulders. Not a huge fan of my quarterbacks with a pink iPhone and lipstick at a basketball game, but hey, to each their own. I'm sure Chicago will be just fine. The first franchise quarterback this team could possibly ever have. At number 2, the Commanders on the clock. A lot of speculation going on this week about what they're going to do. We know they're taking a quarterback. The question is, which quarterback are they going to end up taking? So it seems like they're going this way. There are some movements in the betting odds, but I'm going to go Jaden Daniels here out of LSU. Solid quarterback all around, a monster season. 5 years in college, really came on this year. I think he fits what Washington's trying to do a little bit more. Cliff Kingsbury, the offensive coordinator there now, he's had some similar work with these types of quarterbacks. Super athletic, big arm, very, very good spot for him to land, I think. And now pick number 3, where I think the draft actually starts. Here with the Patriots, what are the Patriots going to do? I don't know. This is a really tough spot, I think, but we have a trade, ladies and gentlemen. We're going a trade. I think New England's going to swap out of this pick. I think New England is going to give it up to, who are they trading it to? My Minnesota Vikings. I think the Vikings are going to slide up here. Whatever it is. I'm just going to force this trade. But New England's going to definitely get 11 and 23 this year for the number 3 pick. I got the Vikings sliding up, and we all know what that means. The Vikings going all in on a quarterback, and I think this has got to be the move here. North Carolina quarterback Drake May. There's been a lot of down on Drake May. I don't get it. Drake May, an elite arm. He's kind of a hybrid of Josh Allen and Justin Herbert. Big time runner. Struggled a little bit, but it was a very simplistic offense at North Carolina. Plus, he can sit a year behind Sam Darnold. He's got all the weapons in the world. I think this is a must move for the Vikings. All right, number 4, could Arizona trade out? Possibly, but I think the Cardinals are content with staying put. Just hitting a home run here. Solid number 1 most NFL wide receiver we've seen in a long time. Marvin Harrison Jr. out of Ohio State. Pair him with Kyler, and let's get this thing going. Because Arizona, I think, was a little bit better than people thought they were going to be. They have a ton of picks in this draft. I think they hold on to this one and do some dirty work with it. All right, Chargers here at number 5. This is where I think things could also get interesting again. We got another trade, ladies and gentlemen. I got the Chargers trading out of this spot, and perfect. I got them trading with the Patriots. Patriots are going to be able to hold on to that number 23 pick, I think, with this trade. Patriots moving back, acquiring 3 first-round picks possibly, and then going back up to go get the quarterback I think they are comfortable with taking, and that obviously is a very polarizing quarterback, J.J. McCarthy out of Michigan. I think J.J. McCarthy's solid. He does have the Tom Brady factor, but he really doesn't do anything elite for me. I think this is a terrible situation for McCarthy in New England, but I think New England's got to do it. Go get a quarterback. I personally think you should build this roster up and get the quarterback next year, but I don't think Robert Kraft is going to allow them to do that. So now on the clock, the Giants, their quarterback gets poached right in front of them. They go wide receiver here. I'm flipped back and forth between the 2 receivers. I like them both a lot, but I think the Giants are going to go for a little bit of more of a big body. I think they're going to go with Rome Odunze out of Washington. Spectacular season with Michael Penix throwing him the ball. He's got all the talent out there. A 50-50 ball is more like a 70-30 ball in his favor. If they're going to try and salvage Daniel Jones, maybe it's Drew Lock at quarterback. I think this is what the Giants do here. There are a couple of other quarterbacks that the Giants can target later in this draft to maybe try to just address it, but I just think the Giants get sniped here with 4 quarterbacks going in the first 5 picks, and they really are just kind of shit out of luck, but I like Odunze. I think this is a big ad. This is a position of need for them. All right, the Tennessee Titans at 7, easy pick. Joe Alt, starting left tackle. They need a left tackle. Big body, anchored, good NFL pedigree from his dad. He's an elite left tackle, looking to replace what they lost out of Taylor Lewan. And I just love Joe Alt. I think he's the best left tackle in this draft. Solid 10-year all-pro type of guy. Home run pick here for the Titans at 7. Normally these guys, you see them going in the top 5. I don't think the Titans have to worry about this one. All right, now the Falcons on the board. Now, the Falcons may not have this number 8 pick. There are some things going around here. They probably will. But the Falcons, they're going defense. They're going edge rusher. And I think they are going with Dallas Turner out of Alabama. Elite pass rushing skills. He's just a game wrecker, i.e. like Micah Parsons. Just wrecks games up for them. I think he fits what Raheem Morris is going to want to do with that scheme coming over from the Los Angeles Rams. Kind of that linebacker, kind of a joker type guy, and he just makes plays, get after the quarterback. Now the Bears back on the clock at number 9. They just drafted an elite quarterback in Caleb Williams. They have a very good wide receiver core with Keenan Allen and DJ Moore, but Keenan Allen is injury prone. Keenan Allen is getting up there. I love this for the Bears. I hate the Bears, but I love this for them. I think that falls right in their lap. Malik Neighbors there at number 9. Now, could a team possibly slide up here and the Bears could acquire more picks for Neighbors? I think so. I think the Bears this could be a potential trade back spot. But if I'm the Bears, I'm just going with Neighbors here. I think this is the right move. He's an elite wide receiver, high end type guy, and he doesn't need to be that impactful guy right away. He can develop a little bit behind 2 very good wide receivers. And the Bears, you got to build offense now for your quarterback. Okay, number 10 here, the Jets. I think the Jets could go. They could trade back here. They don't have a lot of picks in this draft. I do think people like Brock Bowers. I like Brock Bowers personally, but I don't think this is where he's going. I think the Jets got to get younger at tackle. They're so old. Tyron Smith's probably going to get injured. I think they go to Troy Fautanu out of Washington, a very solid tackle. Probably might project more as a right tackle, but I think he can play left tackle. Solid all-around guy, has some things to work on here, but he doesn't have to start this year. Like I said, they have the tackle positions kind of veteraned up. Get younger, get better, and we know everyone gets hurt. Now, this is another interesting spot. Chargers on the clock here. Chargers looking to go offensive line. I really think they could go Talisi Fuaga out of Oregon State. He's a type of tackle that Jim Harbaugh loves to get after, but you got to get your quarterback weapons. You got rid of all your wide receivers. Brock Bowers just sitting there, an elite type tight end. Not a great run blocker, but he's not a bad run blocker. Kirby Smart's not going to have a terrible run blocker. So let's go Chargers with Brock Bowers. Now the Broncos on the clock here at 12. Everyone's speculating, could it be Bo Nix time? Could we go after Bo Nix here? I think the Broncos aren't going to reach on the quarterback. Wide receivers, not really good wide receiver here. The center is a little too high. Another spot where the Broncos could trade back if they don't like it. But man, I'm a big fan of Liatu Latu out of UCLA. They need some edge rushers. Think of the guys they used to have in Denver. You don't have the Von Millers, the Bradley Chubbs anymore. Time to get the next pass rusher in orange. Liatu Latu, freak athlete, had some injury issues earlier in his career, but I think this is a good fit for them. And Sean Payton, probably better at identifying gem talent on offense rather than defense. So go with the safer pick in the first round and then get those guys later in the draft on defense that are studs. Now, Oakland, another team, could they go quarterback? Could they go, what are they going to do here? I think they just grab an offensive lineman here. I think they go Talisi Fuaga out of Oregon State. Awesome guy, right tackle, grinder, road grader, can protect the quarterback, you can run block behind him. I think this is a really solid guy, a guy who was a freak athlete, shown at the combine. I think this is a really strong pick for the Raiders. You got to build a foundational core, man. They still need a quarterback. I think the Raiders could be trading back in maybe to get one of these later end first round quarterbacks or early second round guys. But for right now, Raiders going tackle. And now we're seeing a run on tackle. Saints on the clock. Another team could use a quarterback. Definitely could use a tackle here. I think they're going with the Bama man, J.C. Latham at tackle. I think this is a good fit for the Saints. You know, they've really struggled. The offense did start getting going towards the end of last season, but they just need a lot of help all around. This is way too early to reach for a quarterback. Like I said, kind of high for the wide receivers. Another potential trade back team. I think there's a lot of teams that could trade back that aren't going to have the guys on the board they want, but I can't be upset if I'm a Saints fan here going with J.C. Latham out of Alabama. Now, if I'm the Indianapolis Colts, wide receivers, this is a team that can maybe go up to 9 to get Malik Neighbors. I think this is a strong possibility. But let's go DB. Let's go with my second favorite corner for them, Quinion Mitchell. He is probably the most sound corner you're going to find in this draft. They need some DB help. Ready to play, longtime starter in the MAC. Good shutdown, good isolation ability. Have to work on his zone coverage a little bit. He's a much better man guy, but I think that's something that we could easily fix. Colts, really strong season last year, kind of flew up the boards to almost get in that playoff spot, but I'm happy if I'm a Colts fan that I can get the number one corner here at 15, at least what I think is the number one corner on their board. All right, now the Seahawks at 16. Very interesting for them. I think the Seahawks go defense, 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 defense. We got to go with an edge rusher here, and there's still a very good edge rusher on this. Where is my man over here? I think you all know exactly where I'm going. Edge rusher, here we go. Edge rusher, who's number one on that board? It's Jared Verse out of Florida State. There's some debate. He could be the number one pass rusher. He could go as high as 8 to Atlanta, I think. But if he doesn't, then Dallas Turner, or it could be an interesting spot here, what the pass rusher is. But Seahawks go pass rusher here. Definitely, I think. So now number 17, we got the Jags at 17. I think a lot of people are going to be staying put if we don't see people getting super aggressive, because people really like this talent in the draft class. There's a couple of potential move-up spots. Like I said, another team here, the Jags. Jags going DB here. Let's go with my personal favorite corner, Terrion Arnold out of Alabama. Really outshone his teammate, Kool-Aid McKinstry, this season, because Kool-Aid was the hype guy out of Bama. Arnold had a big year, showed up in big spots in the biggest games. I really liked his tape this year. I think this is an impactful player right away on the Jaguars. They do need some interior O-line help, so they could potentially target one of the top centers or guards. But I think, you can address those later in the draft. It's hard to find elite tier corners, and these is one of the best corners in this. So I think the Jags go corner here. Number 18, running this card up to the draft board, is the Cincinnati Bengals. Let's go interior line. Let's go with Byron Murphy II out of Texas. Now, there are some ups and downs on his tape. He does disappear at sometimes, but good golly gee, when he shows up, he is an absolute monster on the inside, wrecks games, destroys everybody. Offensive linemen stand no chance with him in there. Now, the Rams are probably a little bit disappointed here. You need maybe an Aaron Donald replacement, but I think Sean McVay is not stupid. He's smart. He knows his team is aging. He knows you got to address offensive line. I think they go with Fashanu out of Penn State. He was number one tackle coming into the season on the big board. It's going to slide a little bit there, but I think this is a really good fit for him. Doesn't have to start right away in LA. Sean McVay preparing for the future. He has a first-round pick. It's not going to be sexy. It's his first-round pick he's ever had. Now, could I see the Rams trading out and getting rid of it because it's the Rams? Probably. I could definitely see them doing it, but I think he makes this pick. I think he goes tackle here. A very solid tackle. This is a very deep offensive tackle draft so far. All right, number 20, the Steelers. Steelers on the clock at 20. I think the Steelers go interior line. Graham Barton listed as tackle. He's projecting more at the interior position. I'm going with Barton here to the Steelers. You got to get the O-line addressed. It's been a disaster. Used to be one of their best parts of this team, and it really just hasn't worked out for them whatsoever. Address this. You have Danger Russ in there. He needs to get protected. And if all else fails, you have Justin Fields, I guess, to run around. All right, at 21, the Dolphins get decimated in the offseason at the defensive positioning. They are screwed on that front. But do they trade back? No, I think they stay put. Zahan Newton, out of Illinois, a super, super interesting guy. He jumps off the page when you watch his tape. It's kind of crazy. Guys, I'm in love with this guy when I watch him play, and he's kind of slid down a little bit. I think he's one of the sleepers of this draft. He is a bit undersized. Could be why his draft stock's falling, but I know of another undersized defensive tackle by the name of Aaron Donald, and he turned out just all right. Okay, Eagles at 22, disastrous secondary, the worst secondary in football last year. We got a safety slash DB here sitting on the board, not as high as PFF is on Cooper DeJean, but I think this is a solid pick. You go Cooper DeJean here. You could possibly go wide receiver like Adonai Mitchell, but you already have two starting wide receivers. You locked up Devonta Smith for a long-term deal. So fix that defense, fix that secondary. I think you have enough weapons on offense for them. Now, here at 23, we got the Patriots. They need a wide receiver to go with their new quarterback, the worst skill position in football. And I think they're going to go with the LSU man, the other LSU man, Brian Thomas Jr., a guy who's getting overshadowed by his teammate, Malik Neighbors. I think Thomas is a really solid wide receiver. He could potentially be a number one wide receiver in years past, but this wide receiver class is so ridiculously deep. I like this pick for New England. You got a quarterback. Get him some help at the skill positions. It's by far the worst skill position team in the league. Get this fixed. All right, number 24, the Cowboys. Now, do the Cowboys go with the sexy pick? Do they go with the local guy, wide receiver, Jerry Flash? Cowboys have actually drafted really well. I can't complain with them whatsoever. So I think they fix up the tackle position. They've been absolutely gutted for them. PFF, not a fan of this guy. I think they go with Tyler Guyton out of Oklahoma. Lock down that tackle position. Sure things up. You got to replace an all-pro level guy in Tyron Smith, but he was banged up so much. You haven't really had him, but they've been decimated on the offensive line. I think that's where they got to address. You can't draft a running back in the first round with this running back class. I think there's other times you can go get the running back here. So Cowboys, I think they're going to do the smart and the right thing here, going offensive tackle. Same thing with the Green Bay Packers. You just got rid of David Bakhtiari. I know he hasn't played like in the last 5 years, it feels like, but you think Jordan Love is for real. You sign Josh Jacobs. Go get yourself a tackle. Amarius Mims out of Georgia. Good fit for the Packers there. Another team that tends to draft well. I think they're going to shore up that line, protect their young quarterback, and think they're ready to make a run at this thing. Probably should have won 2 playoff games. They fall short. They blow that game against the Niners in the divisional round. Sky's the limit for the Packers this year if Jordan Love is for real. But we're not here to talk about that. Okay, number 26, we have the Buccaneers on the clock. Lots of positions in need for the Bucs. I do like what Baker Mayfield did last year. I do. I think they did a good job with Baker. I liked what they did. Could go offensive weapons here. I think they go defense. I think they desperately need some pass rushers here. So I think they go with an edge. They go after a guy who I think is solid. I think they're going with Chop Robinson here. PFF not super high on him. I think he's a solid pass rusher. You just need to add the production at that defensive end position. You need to be able to get after the quarterback. This defense was awesome in the run game, awful in the passing game. They got better towards that stretch in the playoffs, but still, it was a sieve. Go get after the quarterback. If you can't address the secondary, get after the quarterback. Help those guys out. 27. Cardinals here. Talked about the Cardinals. I think they're moving out of this position. I think they're going out of this spot. I think we're going with a trade. We're not trading with them. We are trading with the Denver Broncos. Now, I'm just going to force this trade. Whatever the package is what it is. I think the Broncos moving back into the first round here at 27, and that can only mean one thing: quarterback. and it's going to be your boy Bo Nix out of Oregon. I mean, all-time leading starts guy, super accurate, short completion guy, basically the Drew Brees prototypical mold here. I think the Broncos go trade back into the first round, get their quarterback in Nix. Now the Bills, you traded away Stephon Diggs. There's a big-time receiver here. I know his teammate got a lot more of the headlines at the Combines, but Adonai Mitchell out of Texas, this was a deadly 1-2 combo. Fills in. This is a bad skill position group. I shouldn't say bad. It's just not great. You lost basically your top 2 receivers, maybe top 3 receivers in the offseason. Go get a wide receiver for Josh Allen. This might be the last run for the Bills. I don't know what's going to happen for them. They're kind of in a weird spot. It felt like last year possibly could have been the last rodeo, but they're going to give it all they got, try and stave this thing off. And when you have a guy like Josh Allen at quarterback, anything is possible. Now the Lions, the worst secondary in football, the Detroit Lions, maybe the second worst. I don't know. I think they go corner here. A team that's drafted really well the last few years. You look at Jahmyr Gibbs, you look at Sam Laporta, you look at Brian Branch. He's coming on. Go get yourself another young corner. I think they go Nate Wiggins out of Clemson over Kool-Aid McKinstry. I just think he's a little bit more sound overall. His tape's a little bit better. Kool-Aid kind of gets down on himself sometimes when he doesn't get targeted, or if he gets over-targeted, he can lose his confidence a bit. So I think they go with the solid guy in Nate Wiggins out of Clemson. All right, at 30. Oh boy. Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson. He's kind of a big-time guy. Got to protect your quarterback. Let's get yourselves a tackle. Jordan Morgan out of Arizona. Like I said, this is a super deep tackle draft, offensive line draft. Could project more inside, but I think this is an area of need for the Ravens. They love to run the football. They know they need to protect Lamar. He's not doing as much running, it looked like, especially in the playoffs. Kind of weird all around for him. So I think the Ravens go tackle here. At 31, your 49ers, they could go offensive line here. I really debated between these 2 picks here. We got Jackson Powers Johnson and Kool-Aid McKinstry. I think both are positions of need for the Niners. If the Niners stay at this spot, I could definitely see them trading out with like the Raiders. Maybe the Raiders move in to draft Michael Penix here. But I think if you stay here, you go Kool-Aid McKinstry out of Alabama. Fix that secondary. I'm not worried about the offense. Whatever Shanahan does, it's going to be successful. You got to fix that back end. We saw the Chiefs completely expose them as soon as they lose a linebacker. The Chiefs just started shredding that team up in the Super Bowl. I think you go and address that position of need for them because I'm not worried what Shanahan's doing on the offense. All right, and finally, our final pick. It's your defending back-to-back Super Bowl champs, the Kansas City Chiefs. Get this team some wide receiver help. Get them some love. Now, I think PFF is super low on this. I think this is where they go. They go with the speedster. They go with the burner. You got Rashee Rice, who's in a little bit of trouble, might miss a good chunk of time this upcoming season. I think they go with Xavier Worthy, and that's going to do it for us. Your entire first round mock draft we can roll through and you can check it out, run through it again. Caleb 1, Jaden Daniels 2, Drake May to the Vikings in a trade at 3, Marvin Harrison at 4, JJ McCarthy, the Patriots trade back up at 5, Roma Dunze 6, Joe Alt 7, Dallas Turner 8, Neighbors at 9, Fatanu at 10, Bowers at 11, Latu at 12, Fuaga at 13, JC Latham 14, Quinion Mitchell 15, Jared Verse 16, Terrion Arnold. Oh man, I'm going to be cutting it off. Let me flip me over here. Byron Murphy 18, Oluwamu Fushanu at 19. I butchered that. Cram Barton at 20. Zahan Newton at 21. Cooper DeJean at 22. Brian Thomas Jr. at 23 with the Patriots getting that pick from the Vikings. Tyler Guyton at 24. Amarius Mims at 25. Chop Robinson at 26. The Broncos trading back into 27 to get Bo Nix. Adonai Mitchell to the Bills at 28. Nate Wiggins at 29. Jordan Morgan at 30. Kool-Aid McKinstry at 31. And the Kansas City Chiefs taking Xavier Worthy at number 32. That is going to do it for us. That is my final mock draft. If you haven't already, drop a quick like on this video. Subscribe to the channel. We got new sports content every single day. If you want to support the channel more, sign up for a channel membership. You get exclusive access to videos, early access to videos, all sorts of cool perks. Helps support me, allows me to keep making this great content for you guys every single day. We will be live streaming the entire first round of the NFL draft next Thursday. Should be a whole lot of fun. Come hang out on the chat, talk it up, chop. We'll talk shop all day. A lot of fun. Again, like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.